is everyone cheating in the final Season 4? What do I mean by this? Well, in the finals, all of the bullets always go towards the center of your screen, unless you're using a projectile weapon. Now, this itself isn't so much of a problem, and it's a mechanic that's in many other games. However, in the finals, most weapons also have a pretty large amount of visual recoil, which causes your iron sights or your reticle to not properly line up to where the center of your screen actually is. Now at this point you might think, well, hey, this isn't much of a problem, just put on a center dot. Well, the thing about that is that you can't have a center dot on while you're aiming inside of the finals. If you ADS, your center dot will disappear and it will be replaced with your iron sights or with your scope or within like a zoom in kind of mechanic like with the KS-23. There is simply just no option for that anywhere in the settings. And then most people will probably say, oh, okay, well, I'll just use a crosshair overlay then. And this is where the cheaters come in. Using a crosshair overlay goes against the finals terms of service, and there are reports of getting banned for doing so. So it is just quite simply cheating. But that's kind of a problem, because you have a game where bullets always go towards the center of your screen, but you have gunplay that's slightly offset from the very same center. And then there's no option to have a constant center dot on in-game. And to top everything off, crosshair overlays goes against the final's very own terms of service. Now, there are multiple content creators and streamers that don't have any center dot on at all in-game, which kind of heavily implies that they are using a crosshair overlay, whether it's software or on their monitor or even just like a piece of blue tack in the middle of their screen. And this would mean that they're going against the finals terms of service, and therefore they are cheating. However, it shouldn't be cheating. Having a center dot in the middle of your screen that never moves should not be considered cheating, especially with the crazy amounts of visual recoil that some weapons in this game have, like the AKM. So, as far as I'm aware, Embark has 3 options here. Option 1 is to make all of the bullets go where the gun's sights or reticle is, instead of going towards the center of the screen. However, this would probably take a lot of time and effort while having the same effect as both of the other options. Option 2 is to change the terms of service and make it so that using a crosshair overlay is no longer considered cheating. However, I doubt they'd want to do that because, you know, it's probably phrased pretty intricately, and it's also probably difficult to detect the differences between a crosshair overlay and something that's maybe a little bit more malicious, which is why option 3 is probably the best. And option 3 is to just have a center dot in-game that never moves or changes position, like the static reticle we currently have in-game, but instead of it disappearing when you ADS, just make it so that it doesn't disappear. This would essentially give the finals its very own crosshair overlay while not actually breaking the terms of service, because it wouldn't actually be an overlay, so it wouldn't go against the terms of service and they wouldn't have to balance visual recoil or anything like that. In general, I do think that visual recoil should be pretty much removed from the game entirely, because it just makes the gunplay feel worse. And before someone in the comments starts saying something like, oh, you can't remove visual recoil, everything will be broken, you actually can, because the FCAR doesn't have any visual recoil and pretty much nobody is using that right now. They're just using the FAMAS or the AKM instead, and they both do have visual recoil. But getting rid of visual recoil will probably take a lot of time and effort compared to just adding a center dot that doesn't go away when you ADS. So I think that's going to be just like a very good option that would make a lot of the players happy, and it would also mean, you know, content creators don't have to cheat to have good aim. I do just want to mention, I'm not using a crosshair overlay of any type. I'm not using a software, I'm not using a monitor crosshair overlay, I'm not using a piece of blue tack in the center of the screen. I'm pretty sure a lot of other people are, but I think it's silly to consider it cheating at all. I think it's just a silly rule that it goes against the terms of service to use a crosshair overlay, especially in a game like the finals where the guns are pretty inaccurate. I feel like having a center dot or a crosshair overlay should just be allowed, but I'm not currently using one because I don't want to get banned. So if you see my aim sucking, then that's gonna be my excuse for why, even in this gameplay in the background. If I'm missing shots, I'm gonna blame it on that. But yeah, there you go. There's my thoughts on everything. Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. That is going to be it for this video. If you'd like to leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Very well.